The cells are attached with each other with the help of different junctions. These junctions help in transmission of various particles from one side to another side, and also helps two of the cells together with the help of these different kinds of junctions. There are three basic types of junctions: the tight junction, the adhering junction, the gap junctions. And there are one more, intercellular bridges, which are present in case of attachment of two cells, and those are known as the desmosomes. We will be studying about the tight junctions at first. These tight junctions, you can see, they are present in the case of epithelial cells, and they are capable of joining two of the adhering cells or two of the close by cells in a way, in certain way, so that there is no gap present in between them. And because of that, the tight junctions are, as because they are very closely associated areas of two cells whose membranes join together to form a virtually impermeable barrier for fluid. So we cannot expect that, or there is no inflow, or there is no flow of fluid from one cell to another because the presence of tight junction. So it's a complete barrier between two cells, which is not at all going to allow any movement of fluids from one cell to another. Tight junctions perform vital functions such as they hold two of the cells together and form protective and functional barriers in between two cells. The tight junctions are composed of branching network of sealing strands, with each strand acting independent from the other. Now, each of the strands which are helping in making the tight junctions, they are independent from the another strand. If you think about the strands which are present in 1 2, they will be quite different from the kind of strands which are forming the separations between 3 and 4. The major types of proteins in junctions are claudines and occludines. Now, these are not very important for you all, but these are different kinds of proteins which help in formation of these strands. Each strand is formed from a row of transmembrane protein. Transmembrane protein are the proteins which are present from, or which are associating the extracellular fluid and the intracellular fluid of a cell. So in that way, they are quite important, and they help in joining two cells together. Now, where are these tight junctions present? These tight junctions are present in case of most of the cells, the outer cells of the skin, the nervous system, or outer covering of most of the areas. They all have presence of these tight junctions. So skin, the epithelial cells of the skin, they have presence of these tight junctions. One more place where it can be found is the cytoskeleton, and the very common example is of blood brain barrier. If you remember the nervous system, the brain and the blood, it is separated with the help of a barrier, and that barrier is known as blood brain barrier. In between this brain and the blood, or the blood vessels, the vascular part of the blood vessels, or vascular part of the cell, the fluid is present. If you remember, the cerebrospinal fluid, and that fluid is separated from the vascular tissue with the help of the presence of these tight junctions. Next type of junction is the gap junctions, and they allow various molecules and ions to pass freely in between them. Why? Because there is a gap in present, which is present in between two of the cells. If you can see, they are hydrophilic channels which are present, and these hydrophilic channels are as such that there are certain gaps in between them. If you can think of these structures, they are somewhat like this, and when the structures are formed, in between the places, you will see certain substances flowing from one side to another. A gap junction channel is composed of two connexons, also known as hemichannels. Now, because of the connections, these connections, you can see, they are closed and open. What is the difference between both the structures? This structure is a closed, and the another one is a open structure. When the structure is in a closed form, over there we can expect that there will be no flow of fluids taking place from one cell to another. The both the plates which are visible, they are two different cells, and outer coverings are the plasma membranes of two different cells. Open structure, they are in a crisscross manner, so that certain gaps are formed at these surfaces, and from here the fluid can flow from one side to another. Most of these gap junctions, they are form of these hemichannels, and each of the hemichannel channels will be having six connecting proteins which form up the, or which make this transmembrane domain. So once again, let's see, the most of the gap junction hemi channels are composed of complex of six connecting proteins. Six of the connexin proteins are there, which are characterized by four transmembrane domain. The transmembrane domain is as such that it is capable of transmitting the proteins from extracellular matrix to intercellular matrix, and these six connexin subunits, they assemble together to form a connexon. So you can count and see they are six in number: one, two, three, four, five, six. Six of them, they are joining together to form one of the connexon monomers. And each of the monomer is containing six number of connexin subunits. Channel composition influences the function of the gap junction. So what kind of channel proteins are there, that will decide that what kind of fluid can move inside the cell and which kind of fluids are moving out of the cell. Gap junctions allow for electrical communication between the cells and also allows the passage of small second messengers. So only electrical impulses are transmitting. If you remember the nerves, the movement of impulses in a nerve cell, so the polarization, depolarization, again the repolarization steps, then you can remember it was because of the presence of gap junctions between the cells. These gap junctions are expressed in virtually all tissues and cells, but most notably, they are expressed in the cardiac cells and the neurons. So you can imagine that the electrical impulses which are generated by the SA node of the cardiac muscles, they are the ones which are transmitted from SA node to different parts like AV node and different other fibers with the help of Purkinje fibers, with the help of this gap junctions. Because the fluids, they are here, the fluids are not flowing, here the electrical impulses are flowing. Similarly, for the case of neurons, the electrical impulses will be flowing and they can flow with the help of the same gap junctions. So this is about the open and closed structure of the connexin molecule. Each of the connexon molecule is made up of six monomers of connexin single subunits, and they form the cap channels or the channel proteins. Next is about the adherent junction. These adherence junctions are involved in number of critical functions. They provide additional support to the cells, and for example, they also help in they hold the cardiac muscles very tightly together as the heart expands and contracts. So while the contraction and relaxation of heart is taking place, during that time adherent proteins are quite important. These adherent junctions are built primarily from the cadherines, whose extracellular segments bind to each other and whose intracellular segments bind to catenines. Now these proteins are the ones which are helping in formation of the adherent junctions. Actin filaments are kind of proteins which help in the muscle movement. So let's have some of the examples. So cadherin, they are a class of transmembrane proteins and they are helpful in maintenance of the tissue structures. Adherent junctions are the protein complexes which are present in cell to cell junctions in the epithelial tissues, and they are usually more basal than the tight junctions. That's why they have been included in the adherent junctions. Catenin is another class of proteins that have a very important role in two cells adhesion. So you can see these red patches which are known as zonula adherents, and they are helping in connecting two of the cells together. Now we move on to the last type of junction, and those are known as the desmosomes. They are found in very high numbers in case of tissues and are responsible for mechanical support or mechanical force development in case of most of the cells. For example, they are found in the epidermis, where the outer layer of the skin, or even the myocardium layer of the heart, the muscle part of the heart, is having this. So most of the muscular tissues will be having the desmosomes. What is the functionality of these desmosomes? These cells, which are separated by negligible amount of extracellular fluid, are held together by cell junctions, which could be in the form of desmosomes or intracellular bridges. So you can see that two plates, the red color plates are there. This is one and this is two. Both these cells, outer membrane, is getting connected with the help of plaque. Plaque is a kind of cotton substance which is winding up to form a you can think about a needle. With the help of needle, you can imagine that something is sewed together, or it is just binded together with the help of this plaque. And these transmembrane proteins, you can see in between, they are forming cross connections. They are forming the intermediate bridges or intracellular bridges which are continuously interconnected with each other. If you can imagine a particular cell, if I just draw one of the intracellular bridge, they look somewhat like this. You can see how two cells can be fixed with each other with the help of these two bridges. I have just drawn one of the intracellular bridge or transmembrane glycoprotein or the cadherin. These cadherins are present in numerous amount forming the intracellular bridges in case of desmosomes, and these help in connecting two of the cells quite close to each other, especially the epidermal cells together or epithelial cells together.